This is the Carolina Real Estate Podcast. Today, a special episode of the Carolina Real Estate Podcast, Coastal Home Tour. Coastal Home Tour takes you on a tour of coastal neighborhoods. Your tour guides are knowledgeable and experienced coastal Carolina realtors who know this neighborhood. Listen as they talk about properties, lifestyle, and amenities in this neighborhood.
This is Bill Macchio, your host here at Carolina Real Estate Podcast, and we got a special edition of Coastal Home Tours with Carey
Nikonchuk. It's like two people. Yes.
And she's a realtor with the Brennaman Group, and we're going to take a tour of one of her houses. Before we do that, I want people to get to know you a little bit. Okay. Now you were born in the Carolina. You were born in South Carolina, right?
Yeah, Columbia. Mm-hmm.
And even though you've been in real estate almost all your adult life, but your family's been in real estate before you were born, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. My dad was a builder in Columbia. He played football at Carolina and then, ended up building houses. And the Finches, who at the time, it was Beach and Racquet Club, now Wild Dunes, hired him to come down and move to Isle Palms. And he built pretty much, I would say, about 75% of Wild Dunes, all the condos, most of them anyway, the harbor course. So, and then he had an opportunity when they decided to sell it to purchase it. So he did buy Wild Dunes and owned it for pretty much up until mid 80s. He owned it, and then
that's great. You got to be proud of that. That's great. And your dad is so diversified in his thinking, and he's really an intelligent guy. I like the fact I know him. As we proceed down this and take the tour of this home, I'm dying to tell people about it. I want to talk about you. So you've got a daughter, and how long you been selling real estate? And do you have any brothers or sisters or anything like that?
Yeah, I have two daughters, and one is 19. She just moved out over the weekend, so it's a little bit of an adjustment for us. And then I have a 17-year-old. She's at Oceanside, which we really like. We're very happy with the school junior there. And then how long have I been in real estate? Was that the question? Yes. I've been in real estate since about 2008. So it's kind of interesting because when I got into real estate, everybody knows what that year means.
Oh, yeah.
Real estate, right? So I learned a lot because I pretty much, joined, this business with foreclosures and short sales and, very challenging. But I was able to kind of push through that and learned a lot just because of the timing, and yes. I was able to kind of build my business even in
That's great. Yeah, you don't want to have to start when times are tough, but it definitely hardens you and it gives you diversity you wouldn't have had otherwise.
That's right.
So we were talking earlier about the people moving from all over. And they come to this historically rich town, and I wanted to share with everybody, you have a master's degree in history, correct? As a matter of fact, sometimes if you're called on, you'll teach a class or two because you love it so much, right?
I do. I love history, and I teach on occasion. I tried at Tech just because it's a fun thing to do, and really, I when I got my master's, my first work, even while I was in school, was driving carriages as a tour guide downtown. And then I worked at the South Carolina Historical Society, and that was just awesome. I was actually I was the head researcher there, and people would hire me to research if they were writing a book, for example, or if they bought a house and wanted to know more about the house that they bought, or, so that was my job. But I did other things at the Historical Society as well, just sort of on the side.
That is so cool, Carey. That's like you didn't know this, but you were starting your real estate career because you were getting involved in the houses. It's really, really cool. I don't know of any other realtor that has told me that before, so that's cool. In our tour of this home, it's in Awendaw. I'm intrigued by it. It's a very cool place. I have to ask you, when you first got the listing, I know you helped the lady build the house, right? Or you were?
Well, yeah, I sold her a lot. Mm-hmm.
Is it 2 point? Did you tell me it was 2.5 acres?
About 2.5 acres. Yep. And it's in Awendaw, sort of, but really it's Mount Pleasant. I mean, it's, most people think, oh, it's Awendaw, but when she built the house, she had the property annexed into the town of Mount Pleasant. So it's great because you get all the city services,
My understanding from our previous conversations is you can get to Wando High School in less than 15 minutes, right?
It's like 10. It's nothing.
Wow.
It's before you get to Sewee Outpost. So it's on the left, on the Wando River side of 17. And it's easy. It's so easy to get to. It's not far.
So you call it a river home, right?
It's a riverfront house. Yeah, it's on the Wando River. Mm-hmm.
Let's dive into it. It's on Old Rosebud Trail. Is that what it called?
That is. Yeah, 1490 Old Rosebud Trail. It's 5,606 square feet, but that includes the guest cottage, right? So there's a guest cottage on the property as well. In the main house, there are 4 bedrooms. One of them she's using as an office currently, but there's 4 bedrooms in the main house. And I say main house, there's really 5, but in the main house, you have 2 master bedrooms, one on the main level, which is, it's an elevated house. So it's, on the first floor. So you walk in, and to the right is this huge, she has it set up as an office with built-in bookshelves, which is lovely, but it could be a bedroom because it has a full bath next to it, and a huge closet. Then, you go through there, there's a, there's a pantry and then the kitchen. But
let's talk about the kitchen. Let's talk about the kitchen, and people can see some of the photographs here of the kitchen as we're talking. But what makes that kitchen? Kitchens are a really important part of a house. Tell me what you think is special about the kitchen.
It's got such great natural light. It's very spacious. What I like about the kitchen is, it's got all the bells and whistles. It's got the inset Thermador refrigerator. It's got, huge island, which is, a must. And, it's just a beautifully built home altogether. I mean, you name it, you want it, it's in there. The pantry is a huge walk-in pantry, which to me, that's like key. One of the other things I love about it, if you can get it in a kitchen, is having a window at the sink, and it has a huge, beautiful window at the sink. And you're standing.
It overlooks out to the river. Where does it overlook out to?
And that was what I was going to say. You can see the views from the kitchen, and then just off the kitchen is a very large breakfast area that really is big enough to be both a dining room / kind of breakfast area. You could use that front room that she has set up as an office as a dining room if you chose to, but you really don't need to because the breakfast area is so spacious.
Be part of the conversation surrounding Mount Pleasant. Sponsor the Mount Pleasant Podcast. Podcast marketing is the new, powerful way to brand your business and reach your customers. For more information, visit carolinapodcasts.com or call 843-345-7012.
You're watching the Carolina Real Estate Podcast, Coastal Home Tour Edition.
One of the things about the house too is I thought this was very unique. You call it the riverfront house, right?
It's riverfront on the Wando. That's right.
But share with the audience about the insurance, flood insurance on it.
So it isn't a flood zone X, meaning, flood insurance is not required. And so that's awesome.
Wait a minute. I want you to say that again. So this is a riverfront home, and you're saying that flood insurance is not required?
Correct. That's right.
That's crazy.
Pretty awesome. Crazy. Yeah. So, you can't beat that.
No, because that would change the policy, especially nowadays with insurance, what it is. That's crazy good, So let's keep going through the house. Sure. So my understanding is downstairs is a mother-in-law suite.
So downstairs is a mother-in-law suite, and her mother actually currently lives in there. And it's not big, but it's big enough. It has its own laundry. It has its own kitchen, a little sort of living space kind of off the little kitchen area, and a full bedroom, and it's handicap accessible. So it's great. The wider doorways, and it's got, its own full bath. So it's sort of, separate from the main house. But it's on the main floor. So, the garage is also on that floor, but they're also in that on that floor. You walk out to the pool area. So they did also build sort of like a rec room type of thing that you could use coming in off the pool that's separate from this mother-in-law suite with another full bath.
Oh, wow.
So 2 full baths, a laundry room, so just, they thought of everything when they built this house.
So what was this listed for? What's it listed for?
Right now it's listed at $3.85 million.
And on the compound, so to speak, you've got another house, another structure in the back of the house. Is that right?
Yeah. So there's a guest cottage that sort of matches the style of the house itself, and it's also got higher end finishes. It's elevated, so it has 2-car garage, and then you walk upstairs, and it's got it's a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. I think it's actually 1.5 baths. It has
how many square feet is it, Carey?
Oh gosh, 850. I know that exactly because that's the rule there. If you do an outbuild, a guest cottage, one of the rules was that's the max square footage that you could do.
Is that before she annexed into Mount Pleasant or after she annexed?
It's a neighborhood rule. So, that was just the way that that development was set up,
It's approximately almost 2.5 acres.
Yes.
And they can build another house on there. Whoever was purchased from you, they had the opportunity to build another house on that property.
Well, not a house. It can't be. It would be like, for example, one of the kind of selling points of that neighborhood is, they have a barn in there as part of the amenities that you could,
really.
But yeah, it's really nice. But but you can also build a barn on the property. So if you had a horse, or you might want to build an outbuilding, maybe you want to have a place to store boats or cars or a garage. It just can't be something with heated and cooled. Meaning,
I got you.
Yeah, it couldn't be. But you could. Otherwise, it's kind of whatever you want to do.
So, Carey, we talked about when people think of Awendaw, and I know that it's been annexed into Mount Pleasant, so it's not really an Awendaw.
Sure.
But the location's great. I mean, I was thinking about it it's really country quiet and city convenient, is it not?
It is. Oh, it's so cute. I mean, it's quick, getting to Costco, Walmart. I mean, it's nothing. It's just you zip around.
How long did it take you to Costco?
Oh, 10 minutes.
Wow. So that means it takes less to get to Wando.
You don't hit traffic. You don't really hit traffic.
Right. And do you know off the top of your head, how close are you to the Roper Hospital?
About the same. Roper's right next to Costco. So
wow, that's crazy good. And from the air to get to the Charleston International Airport, what are you 30 minutes away?
30, I would say. Yeah.
So the master bedroom's upstairs?
Actually, there's 2. So, you have you've got the garage area. It's an elevated house, the mother-in-law suite on sort of the first floor. And then the next story is the main level with the kitchen, the family room. And there's a master bedroom too off of the family room, a huge screen and porch. I mean, so
it has a downstairs master bedroom.
Yes. And then there's an elevator also. So on the 3rd floor, there's another master it's huge. And in fact, that's what is currently being used as the master. And then 2 more bedrooms and another laundry on the 3rd floor. But there's an elevator. So, it's kind of nice because you really don't have to worry about walking up. And you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about stairs.
Right. So this home was built in early 2023?
Yeah, it was finished around this past August, July, August.
Okay, I got to ask you because I'm sure you have buyers ask you all the time. Sure. Why is she moving?
Well, they bought the property, built this gorgeous house, and thought that her daughter was at the time a horseback rider, and they thought they would probably build a barn and maybe get a couple horses. And that just changed. The daughter, such a cute kid, she decided not to continue to pursue that. And so that was sort of one of the main reasons why she bought the property in the first place. And since that's not really in the cards anymore, they just thought, maybe we might want something just a little smaller. So, that's really why, Well,
honestly, it's a pretty big house. It's a really big house, actually.
Yeah, it's a good size. And so,
but if you factor in the house in the back, the 800 square feet in the back, and
and that could be a rental too. I don't know about, short-term rentals, but you could rent that, no problem. And make
cool. So when other realtors look at it, and I know you've had showings, must have showings because this is such a awesome piece of property. What do people walk away liking the most?
The view, and I think, the property itself, they love. They don't mind the location. It's behind a gate, so it's gated community. The view is, I think, the key, but also every feature. I mean, if you name, you say, okay, I'm looking for a house with a pool, or I'm looking for a house with a mother-in-law suite or an elevator, or it has everything. I mean, it even has a Generac generator, it's
Wait a minute. Stop just for a second. Are you saying that it has an independent whole house generator? So if the electricity went out, she's not going to be put out.
That's right. It wouldn't. I don't think it would power the guest cottage, obviously, but yes, that's right. I mean, it has
awesome.
It's.
She's really thought of everything.
Everything, yeah. It's gorgeous. I mean, fenced in backyard, fully fenced in.
Since you sold her the lot, and since you become friends with her, like most realtors do, you become friends with her. Did you go out there during the time she was a few times during the time she was building it?
I even, when we were researching the lot, we met the builder and walked the property with him. I mean, so I've seen it from before it was even cleared, to.
Well, you're the perfect one to sell this house because you know everything about this house.
Yeah, it's great. And she chose an amazing builder, custom home builder that's been building houses in Charleston for a long time. And just has been an amazing sort of, very hands-on and easy to, work with because very, so it's.
Do you want to mention the builder?
His name is Wes Whittle. The company that he has is East Tech. Great guy and just knows his stuff. And, he came recommended by myself and my company. And so, I continue to recommend him. In fact, the lot next door was also sold. And there's an attorney that's building a house there for their family. And they hired him as well. Because I guess what a good job he was doing with this home that I'm trying to sell. And so they decided to hire him also.
That's awesome. So the bottom line is the reason that she's changed it up, even though it's brand new building, just about, is the fact that her lifestyle is going to change because of her daughters decided to do something else. So
I just didn't need that. Yeah, they don't need that property for what the original plan
intended for. Yeah, right. I still find it fascinating when people think of Awendaw, they think of something way out there. The fact that you can get into Wando in 10 minutes, you can get to Costco in about the same amount of time, you get to the hospital. Right. I mean, it's so convenient. So convenient. Do you know off the top of your head, what's the name of the neighborhood?
Pepper Plantation.
Pepper Plantation. So how many rooftops are in there? It's a fairly small community. It's not a big community, is it? It's
not too big. And we sort of have it set up right now where it's not necessarily part of that community. It's a little, and it's interesting. There's it's with the last 3 lots, I think, that were sold in there by the developer. And this is one of them. And so it's behind the gate. And Pepper Plantation is it's a small community, but most of the properties are large lots like this, and some of them have a barn on their property. Some of them have.
It was built for horse lovers. It was built for horse lovers, was it not?
Well, it's not, sort of with that in mind. And honestly, one of the other things that's nice about this property too is that there's very few homes in there that are actually on the water.
But this one is on the water.
Correct. That's right. Yeah.
So, well, Carey, thanks for being part of the Coastal Home Tour. And I'm looking forward to informing people about this house and letting them get to know you. And is there anything else you'd like to add at all?
I mean, just, keep this home in mind. It's gorgeous. 1490 Old Rosebud Lane. And, I'm so excited that I have this listing, and I've been, I enjoy, talking about it because it's just such a unique and wonderful property. And please feel free to call me, text me, email me if you have any questions about it, or if you'd like to see it.
I think one of the things that's really cool is that you were there before the first stick went out of the ground.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
you literally know this house.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just a listing to you, it's part of you, really.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I'm really
All right.
proud.
Thanks very much, Carey. Appreciate you joining us here on Carolina Real Estate Podcast Special Edition Coastal Home Tour. Thanks very much. Okay.
Thanks. All right. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to or watching the Carolina Real Estate Podcast with Bill Macchio. Want to know more?